key on the first meeting, build rapport. Why don't we want to go in automatically talking business, right? There's a reason. It's not just because that's the trend, or some guru said we should connect personally before we talk about business. There's actually neuroscience behind it. And so, the neuroscience says that when we go into a meeting with another person, or we go into an engagement with another person, that there's two types of mindsets that we carry in. And we're always in one of these two buckets in our mindset. We're either in a task-based mindset, where we're doing business, we're solving problems, we're trying to accomplish tasks, or we're in a relational mindset where we're connecting on a personal level, we're experiencing positive emotions, well, all range of emotions really, positive emotions being the ones that are desired, obviously. We're having empathy, and we're connecting and keeping an open mind. And so neuroscience says that when we are in that relational mindset, that the parts of our brains that are responsible for driving positive emotions are working. They're engaging, our synapses are firing. And those parts of our brains allow us to solve puzzles, to be open-minded, to connect seemingly unrelatable thoughts and actions and ideas, to have empathy for one another, and to be vulnerable and actually speak the truth and be open. And obviously that's what we're trying to elicit from the person we're meeting. We want to get to know as much about them as possible, because we are not on a sales call. We are on a fact-finding mission, and we are on a rapport building operation, and that's it. So the more we can get people to talk about themselves, the better they're going to feel, the more open they're going to be, and the more that's going to reveal for us to follow up on. So we talked a little bit last week about this acronym FROG. Ask people about their family, their recreation, what it is that they do for fun. Ask them about their objectives in business and about their personal goals. And then be taking notes. Every time I walk into a meeting, I walk in with a notebook or a journal and a pen or pencil, and I ask at the beginning of the meeting, do you mind if I take notes, right? Get their permission to take notes. That does a couple of things. A, it takes away any awkwardness that you're just sitting there writing things down like you're a psychiatrist. And B, it kind of presents you as a professional and an advocate that, hey, wow, this girl's got her act together. She's taking notes, taking this meeting seriously. And listen, when you ask them about their family, what they do for fun, about their business objectives and their personal goals, listen for an actionable item, something to take away, some anchor, I like to call it, that you can then follow up with down the road. Take a note on this, everybody. A key question that you can ask, one of my favorite questions to ask in a meeting is, who are your influencers? Who is it, professionally and personally, that influences you? Who do you like to follow? Whose advice who do you go to when you're seeking advice? And people will tell you about that person. Ask them more. Ask them what they like about that person. Ask them what they've learned from that person and how that relates to their business. Get them telling stories. Now down the road, right, we all know the fortune is in the follow-up, right? The first meeting typically always goes well because we're being relational. We're going in, we're smiling, we're shaking hands, we're sharing a coffee or a meal, maybe a cocktail, I don't know, depending on when you're meeting. And we're just engaging on a personal level, and everybody's happy, right? And we get all this lip service. Of course, I really appreciate your time, Rick. If anything comes up, I'll be happy to send it your way. Thanks so much for taking the time to meet with me. And then what happens is, if we don't follow up relentlessly, we never, ever get business out of that meeting. It just becomes a waste of time. The fortune is in the follow-up. And so when we have these actionable items detailed, when we have these anchors that we can follow up on, we can move down the road and say, you leave the meeting, you're going to text them immediately and thank them for their time, let them know that you really enjoyed speaking with them and that you're going to be following up. Say, I'm probably going to be following up a few times over the next week. Want to thank you for your time. Give them a heads up that, you're going to be contacting them, that you do have some expectation.